Hello, students. Today we'll be learning a C major scale. Now, before we start playing C major scale, I would like to brief you about major scale formula. So, it has seven notes, uh, and the formula for the same is like root, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Now, what do you mean by root note? Root is the first note of a scale, right? First note of a scale is known as root note. So, for an example, if I want to play C major scale, C will be my root note. And let's say if I want to play G major scale, so G will be my root note, right? What do you mean by whole? The second step is whole. Now, there are certain notes, like for an example, after C, C sharp comes, right? On your keyboard, C sharp is in black key and C is in white key, right? So when you leave that C sharp and when you go to D, C to D, that is called whole note. Whole note means skipping one note. That is known as whole note, right? And irrespective of natural note and non-natural note, uh, this whole and half works. So for an example, uh, let's say D sharp. So what will be the whole note of D sharp? You have to skip E and you have to go on F. So D sharp is non-natural note and F is a natural note. But then we have to skip one note, that is called whole note. So D sharp to F is a whole note, as I already mentioned, irrespective of natural and non-natural. I would like to give one more example starting with E. So E is our, uh, what will be the whole note of E? Any idea? You have to skip F, right? So the whole note for E would be F sharp, right? Because one note, skipping the F note, E to F sharp, And what do you mean by half? Half means when the notes are besides each other, again, irrespective of natural or maybe non natural. It could be, both the notes could be natural and, one could be natural, one could be non natural. So, for an example, C to C sharp is half because both the notes are besides each other, C and C sharp. On guitar, if I give you example of C and C sharp, the first one is this one for an example. So this is C and this is C sharp, right? So these both C and C sharp are besides each other, so they are half. One more example of the same is maybe starting from E. So E and F, they both are half note because we are not skipping any note in between. Both the notes are besides each other. E and F, they are half note. So coming back to the major scale formula. So for an example, we have to learn C major scale formula. So root, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So the first one is root note, obviously, C note. After that, whole note. So what is the whole note of C? It will be D. What is the whole note of D? It will be E. Half note of E will be F. Whole note of F will be G. Whole note of G will be A. Whole note of A will be B. And half note of B will be C. So these are your seven notes of C major scale. Once again, I'll play it for you very slowly. And the first position of C major scale. Well, this is first position of C major scale. One more thing I would like to explain all of you while playing C major scale. Few things again you need to keep it in mind is that your finger numbers. As I've already mentioned in chapter finger numbers, these are your finger numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the C note, which is your fifth string, third fret, you have to press that note with your third finger. The next string is open, and open means you don't have to use any finger. Third note is E, which is on fourth string, second fret, and you will press that note with your second finger. The fourth note is again on the same string, which is F, and you will play that note with your third finger. So, till now, we have played four notes of C major scale. I'll play these four notes for you: C, D, E, F. Right? After that, it's G, which is once again open. So, right? Do, re, mi, fa, so. Right after G, G is third string open. The next note is again on third string, second fret. So in second fret, we will once again use second finger. The next note is B string open. So obviously you don't have to press you don't have to press this note with any of the finger. It's open. And then last note is once again C note. Right? Remember one thing, any scale, whether it is major or minor, the root note will be at the end also, right? So root, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So that the first root and the last half, they both are same, you know. So including all these notes, there are 8 notes, but the first and the last one, they are the same. So if I exclude my last note, there are 7 notes in a scale. So it goes like this once again. Right? This is C major scale, first position. To make it easier for you, I'll give you one technique. This is fret number 1, 2, and 3. So when you are playing C major scale, one small thing which is very easy to remember, whenever there is fret number third, use your third finger. Second fret, use your second finger. First fret, use your first finger. This is a very healthy clue for all of you to remember your finger numbers. Like some students might get confused, like they might play scale in a with a wrong fingers. So don't do like that. Remember this simple solution. Third fret means third finger, second fret means second finger, and first fret, use your first finger. Once again, I'll show it to all of you. Right? This was C major scale, front way. Now coming back once again. Use your same finger numbers, and don't forget to keep your last finger down on your guitar. It should always be down. And always use alternate picking. So whatever you play, try to use alternate picking as much as you can. It will help your playing. This was C major scale open position. Now what is the second position of C major scale? Second position has a different different fingers, and I'll be covering 2 octaves in this scale. starting with the same note, C major scale. Right, let me first play first octave, starting with my second finger this time, because I'm covering more frets. I'm covering almost 4 frets in one octave. So starting with my second finger, then fourth finger, next string with my first finger, second finger, fourth finger, first finger, third finger, and the last one once again. Right. Let me explain you. Let me play once again the first octave of C major scale. One more thing which you want to work out, which is sustain. You need to maintain the sustain. Now how will you maintain that sustain, and what is sustain? First of all, sustain means when the note keeps on ringing here, I mean to say, is like keep on continuing. See the note going on and on and on. Now how is it possible? So whenever I am playing this note or any other note, unless and until you don't release it, it will keep on ringing. For an example, let's say this note. Right. It is going on and on and on. If I stop this note, it will sound like this. Because I am releasing the pressure from the string. The moment I release the pressure, it will stop. See? So sustain is really important, otherwise it would sound like this. No, it is not sounding good at all. So to make it sound more good, you have to maintain the sustain and the speed of a scale. So it sounds like this. One more thing which you have to make sure while playing your C major scale is like when you're playing your first note and when you are moving on to the next note, unless and until you don't play your next note, maintain that pressure on string number, your note number 1. So unless and until you don't move on to the next note, you have to make sure that you maintain the pressure on this note. The moment you play this note, you can release it, and it's completely okay even if you don't release this note, but I would recommend you to release this note. Now this finger was slightly different because I'm going on to the second octave. So what I'll do is like, instead of using my third finger, I would slide this note down with the same finger. Right? So that I have extra fingers remaining for the second octave. So to connect both this octave, I'll have to play it in this way. I am done with my first octave. Now from here I'll continue with the second octave. If you will keep on practicing this thing, I'm sure you'll get the result of C major scale. Thank you very much.